what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. We're out here in Portland, Oregon for a special reason. We have the first look of this vehicle right here. This is it. This is the all-new, totally redesigned 2023 Honda HR-V. Our particular one is the sport trim. But before we get into this small size crossover SUV, let's talk about what's going on here. Things are definitely changing in the auto industry. A lot of focus on electrification and full EVs, but you know what? There's still a lot of people out there that want their SUVs, but the way to buy them now, there's lots of different choices. And Honda wanted to kind of touch on their HR-V. It's kind of been left to the side for a while. Lots of other vehicles like the Civic, the Accord, they've received redesigns. This is a big change, and we've been waiting a while for it. What I want to find out is, has Honda made the right changes? Because what you're going to find out is that this HR-V is quite different from the previous generation, not only in size, but what you're getting on that interior. But what I want to focus on, is this the best new small SUV? And also show you, we have a sport trim. What are you getting when you go the sport trim? So let's go ahead, let's dive into our urban gray metallic and find out with this HR-V, is it the one to buy that smaller size? Right off the bat, the color. Urban gray metallic really fits the sport trim to a T. And if you're wondering, well, how many trims are there? There's exactly 3, LX, Sport, and EXL. Let me show you what makes a sport. First of all, you're gonna get LED headlights. Love the way that they blacked out the interior, sticks with that sporty theme, and then you'll notice all of the changes to the front end. One of the things I actually like about this mid trim is the flat black. So you're gonna get flat black in the lower corners. That's gonna help house the corner air intakes for the air curtains. And then you'll see how everything really has a nice angular look without being too over the top. Coming across the front end of the business, what makes this a sport? This grille is specific to the sport trim. Same flat satin black. I love the way it's fully functional. And then on the lower side, you got more functionality. And look at the way you have that flat black lip. Not only to try to stop air from going underneath, but also to give it that sporty look. Here's a little interesting fun fact. Out of the 3 trims, LX, Sport, and EXL, this one has the most ground clearance, 7.3 inches. The other ones have 7 inches of ground clearance. So you're gonna get a little bit more space underneath this HR-V. Now, when you get up onto the hood, everything is gonna show that nice smooth design going towards the windshield. It's a balance. And it's tough because in this smaller SUV, everything has like a cutesy look to it. This definitely shows a little bit more maturity over the previous gen, and the Sport has some nice touches on the front end. Now, when we come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire setup. Out of all the different trims for this vehicle, this has the largest wheel. So you're actually getting an 18-inch wheel rather than a 17-inch wheel. And if you're wondering, well, what's the size? 225 on the width, 55 series sidewall. I like that nice sort of like V-spoke design all the way around, gloss black. There is flat black around the fender openings, but the great news is compared to other new SUVs, the smaller SUVs in this class, it's not so high. You look at a Mazda CX-30, it comes all the way up to the hood. Tastefully done, flat black. Now, when we go down the side, sport trim, you're also gonna get your gloss black mirror caps. Makes sense because we got the gloss black wheels. No sunroof. If you want a sunroof, you're gonna have to pony up some extra dough, and you're gonna have to go with the EXL. But you have gloss black on the wheels, flat black all the way along the bottom. I'm so glad they didn't do flat black door handles. We got actual color matched door handles, that urban gray metallic. The other new color, which guess what? Stay tuned for the first drive. That's gonna be coming up June 21st at 9 a.m. Eastern time. We have the other new color on an EXL called Nordic Forest Pearl. But let's continue on this Sport. Working our way towards the rear, everything with the design, you can see the extra length. We're talking about 9 inches, guys. Could you imagine 9 inches? You get it with your Honda HR-V coming all the way around the back. Lori's gonna have to try to watch out for the mud and the deep dirt here at Portland, Oregon, but nice gloss black on the roof spoiler. That's part of the sport trim. I like the way it extends out, and what I also like is that it houses the third brake light, so that cleans up the look. You do have a wiper, but at this price point, I'm not gonna zonk it. The other great news is you could have a front-wheel drive HR-V, or like ours, all-wheel drive to get the power to the ground. Just like the headlights, they did a sporty look with the taillights, especially the LED lighting. HR-V, now what they should have done was, this should be black, this should be black. So that's gonna be a zonk, because look, on our sport badge, they did the black. So if you're gonna go full sport, give me matching badges. And then all the way down, if you like an exhaust tip, this is the only trim. Sport trim is the only one that has a single exhaust on one side. The others, you can't even see the exhaust, which is okay, but I would like to see it balanced, one on each side. Let me know how you feel about that in the comment section. But you got the flat black and a little bit of silverish gray on the bottom. But why don't we go ahead? We talked about the exterior. Let's pop the hood and see what's powering our sport. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. Underneath that hood, what's powering our HR-V? There's only one engine choice. And you know what? I think they made a smart decision with what engine we have. It's a 2-liter naturally aspirated inline-4, 158 horsepower, 138 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a CVT, so we're gonna have to zonk that. But Honda has claimed that they went through the whole transmission and retuned it with the ECU to be a little bit more engaging. Front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, you're gonna get some pretty good mileage. I'm gonna stick with our all-wheel drive since that's what we have. 25 in the city, 30 on the highway, and this vehicle weighs around 3,200 pounds. I guess the other big thing that has changed for this that's gonna help with that sporty drive is gonna be the independent rear suspension. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire up our HR-V Sport and hear what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside this 2023 HR-V Sport. Now remember, this is right in the sweet spot of the trims. Starting trim is LX. Obviously, top trim is EXL. If you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I'm really liking this HR-V, but price at the end of the day is what's going to direct my decision. How much is this Sport? Well, let me put it in perspective for you. LX has a starting price of around $23,000. And if you want the fully loaded EXL, that has a price at almost $29,000. This Sport slots in right in the middle at $25,000. So let's see what the Sport brings that's different than the other trims to the door panels. You're gonna get the same simple, clean design, and I like it. Soft touch up top. The big change on the Sport is the orange stitching. Orange to Honda means sport, means racing, and that's what you're gonna get. No gloss black. I like the ripple effect. You see that water ripple effect on the door panel? Give it a little bit of extra style without going too over the top. Door pocket is the zonk. Maybe a chipmunk burrito and a bottle of mountain water to wash it down. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, I do like the way they didn't go cheap on the materials. Soft touch. You got that wire mesh finish, just like you found in what other vehicle? Yes, the Honda Civic. On the Sport, you get bigger wheels, but on the Sport, you get a smaller infotainment system. This is your 7-inch infotainment system. LX and Sport have 7 inches. If you want the big 9-inch, then what you're gonna have to do is step up to EXL. It is a touchscreen, so you could actually scroll here through the stereo channels. But besides that, everything else is done through your buttons. So you could go into your menu, you could toggle up and down like this and make your adjustments, but it's a very simplistic unit on the Sport. Backup camera, it's poor resolution, not the greatest. You do have trajectory, and I do like the way you could adjust the camera angle. That to me is very smart, but I wish on the Sport it had the option of a 9-inch system. Put it back in the park, and then you hit menu, and we're right back where we started. You got your orange stitching all the way across, bright red on the engine start stop button, heated seats on the Sport just like the EXL, but you only have your standard AC controls. So you're gonna have your temperature on one side, your mode on the other, and blower fan speed in the center. And the Sport has gloss black knobs instead of silver. Down below, you could easily fit 4 to 8 Twinkies, depending on how high you like to stack your Twinkies. Me, I like to keep it single stack because I don't like to double up on my cream. USB-A, easily accessible. 2 cup holders. You got the new key fob. This is car number 23. We're gonna enter a race pretty soon at Portland International Raceway. What's nice is you have remote start. So that's a nice touch on the Sport. This guy right here is gonna control your CVT transmission. Love the way they brought the stitching. This is something the other manufacturers have to learn, that if you're gonna go orange, put orange everywhere, not just on the door panels. I do like the little pass-through. You and your friend can play handsies. Your passenger could play handsies. Or what you could do is you could actually fill this up with Skittles, because that'll allow you to taste the rainbow that maybe you'll see here after it rains in Portland. I got a USB-C and another USB-C. So we got USB-Cs, you got your drive mode selector switch, all soft touch, electric e-brake, more soft touch on the armrest, and orange stitching. Open it up, what can you put in there? I would say about maybe 6 oranges. Because we got orange stitching, they said if you're gonna mention a fruit, Joe, you gotta say orange. So you could get your vitamin C and you could fit about 6 oranges, but here's a little fun fact that maybe you didn't know. Strawberries have more vitamin C than oranges. Mind blown. Seats, Sport equals cloth. We got the orange, it is grippy. I do like this texture design they got going on. Manual seat controls for the passenger, but guess what? You got nothing to brag about over here on the driver's side, because I got manual seats as well. The Sport comes with the black headliner. I do like that, and you can see how much headroom I have, just no sunroof. So if you want a sunroof, you're gonna have to get a saw and just cut a big hole opening in there, and then maybe get some saran wrap to cover it up. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel, orange stitched wheel of the Sport. Hi guys, business time. One thing that's a little bit of a bummer is that the Sport doesn't have any aluminum pedals, nothing like that, and you got the manual seat control. So to adjust your seat height, you pull on this bad boy, and then of course you could adjust the back. The seats are comfortable. I actually think they're a little bit more comfortable than the top EXL trim, if that makes sense. Just keeps blowing my mind here on Raiti's Rides. Steering wheel, like I said, they did it right with the orange stitching all the way around. Simple on the buttons. It is a manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. Soft touch, orange, orange. What do we got for a dash? You're gonna have that small digital display with your tachometer. On the other side, you got an analog speedometer, and then you're gonna toggle through the 3 different modes that are available to you. Obviously, snow is with that all-wheel drive system. No head-up display, but you know what? I don't think you're gonna need that, especially at this price point, $25,000. I think they brought finishes that really kind of elevate the feel. But why don't we get into the back seat? And speaking of feelings, let's see if your passengers are gonna get their feelings hurt if you have to give them a ride in your HRV. Let's go see what they're gonna find out. All right, guys, backseat time. I'm telling you, it's like they actually took the previous HRV and added an air pump to the body and then pumped it up to make it larger, because there's tons of room back here. I'm still 6 feet tall, and I'm not touching the headliner. Now, the thing is, you got cloth all the way around, no pocket. So if you're gonna have, you know, your mountain climbing gear, maybe some rope, maybe some cleats that you wear, there's nothing that you can slide back here. So you're gonna have to use the cargo space. So fingers crossed that has enough room back there. Here's the biggest mystery of all. What is the purpose of that? I have no idea. I guess what you could do is you could get one of those old, like 3 or 4 inch TVs that were portable back in the 1980s and keep it here, and you could watch like Channel 3 PBS and watch Sesame Street or something, but there's no rear AC and there's no connectivity, so they don't even give you 2 freaking cans and a piece of string to talk to somebody. Of course, it would have to be orange string. Now, the great news is I got my own pocket, and look at this. You could easily put, I would say, 22 pine cones in here. Official Portland pine cones. They actually call them the double Ps. Put those back here. Seats, though, I'm telling you, the cloth feels good. I'm digging that. You know, if you want some type of adjustability, there isn't any. Plus, there's no center armrest. But they did give us the orange stitching and the same material as up front. But why don't we go ahead? You're seeing how your passengers are going to experience things. Let's get into that cargo area and see what your cargo is going to experience in the new HRV. All right, guys, it's been a great day for this first look out here in Portland, Oregon. Stay tuned. Like I said, mark your calendars, freaking put up a sign in front of your house. You're looking at June 21st, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. No better way than to start your day with some on-throttle in the HRV. We're going to be bringing the EXL trim, so stay tuned for that. But let me know what you think. Is this the best new small SUV to buy? Is it worth the price going the sport trim? Or would you rather spend your money somewhere else? Put it in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raiti Rides family. We got to give it up to the amazing videographer, best in the universe, Lori, working that camera like a champ. Thank you, Lori, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.